and support the Ben Reynolds Foundation, which she raised some money for. So we'll do that at the end. Just quickly about the venue. So entrance is obviously we came in there. If you want to hop out, this will be the exit. So you've got an entrance and exit going. Track and traces on the walls if you want to QR code it. Do wear a mask if you feel like you want to. That sounds all good? Excellent. Well, ready to go. Over to you, Lucy. Excellent, all yours.
Hi everyone. So I'm Lucy Ramers and this is my cousin Francesca Bortelli, aka Chess. And we started the Ben Ramers Foundation alongside two other amazing humans that unfortunately couldn't be here today, Rob and Suze. And it was in memory of my brother Ben, who was a professional skateboarder who I lost to suicide in 2019. Ben's skateboarding career was incredible and he was unbelievable on a skateboard. He was known for that, but besides that, he was an incredible brother, a nightmare at times, an absolute nightmare, but a wonderful human being. He started skateboarding from a really young age, and he was just used to watching skate videos of people drinking loads, partying, and I think that kind of played a part in him, his kind of understanding around what skateboarding was to him in a certain way. There was, mental health wasn't a thing then. He was young and he was seeing these amazing skaters and that was the lifestyle. And unfortunately, when Ben's career kicked off, his mental health really deteriorated, and what goes hand in hand sometimes with mental health is, you have self-medicate it, and that's what he did with drinking loads. And we basically, it went completely downhill, and I lost him through addiction and mental health, which is exactly why I started the Ben Reynolds Foundation.
I would just like to add that Lucy touched on it then, but I think what really needs to change in the skating industry is this culture of sort of this stereotype that you have to be of like fun, party, drinking, a bit crazy, a bit mad. And I think what would be really nice in the skateboarding industry is for that to not be the thing that attracts people to skating as well, especially in like the professional skateboarding world. So I do think some of the big brands as well are part of that changing the needle. So it's just something else that I think the Ben Reynolds Foundation is helping towards. Okay.
So things that we've started to try and make a change with and try and really put out there, things we're trying to put our message across, I suppose, is in lockdown. I mean, we've all loved Zoom, haven't we? All loved Zoom, everything's become virtual, and obviously we were like, what's the way we can get on board with this? And one of our big ones was social media takeovers. So we had some incredible humans that are really close to Ben get involved with it, and not because they needed to or it was anything that they felt like they wanted to do it, and that was the most beautiful thing. So we had some physio, obviously with skating, you knock yourself out a little bit, bits and bobs. So we had a physio session, we had a yoga session, which was amazing. Realised how inflexible I am, and when I started doing that yoga session, and we just got everybody involved, and it was at that point, I think, where we were all, in lockdown, you really have to be alone in your own thoughts, and we were at that point where we were only allowed a certain amount of time out on a day. And this was something that could just bring everyone together, so it was really important to us. And then next to that was our social media animations. And something that I learned from Ben is warning signs, where I kind of knew they were there, but I didn't know how to react to them. I didn't know how to get my message across to him without offending him. And I was actually really scared of the word suicide. So with these animations, it's been amazing because it's helped put, I think, both sides of the story. If you're struggling, like how to reach out to someone, and also if you're in that situation where you don't know what to do, it's how to reach out. And this is something that's been amazing because the shares have been incredible. It's gone global, and that's been one of the most important things to me. Like, I was scared of the word suicide, I never had the guts to say to Ben, are you feeling suicidal? But now I must say the word suicide like 100 times a day. So that's been really important, and it's just, yeah, it's spread far and wide, which has been amazing. Yeah, so our first deliverable we started after Ben's legacy, Ben left behind an amazing legacy. He was an incredible human being, and there was something we needed to do with it. So me and Rob were kind of like, there's definitely something that can be done with this. And we met with Suze, who's the bread and butter behind the charity. She's incredible. And she was like, okay guys, so what do you kind of want to do with the charity? And I looked at her, me and Rob looked at each other, we're like, not really too sure. And she said, what about, suicide awareness training? And I was like, this would be incredible, because it's actually something that's missing, especially in, the skating community. There was just that, something missing that, mental health is huge, but it's very male orientated, but now it's obviously male and female, which is wicked, but we just knew it was missing. So she said, we could do it around skate shops, like a hub. And I was like, that's amazing, because I think Ben never had that kind of place. He, going to a clinical place would have just really worried him. So something skate shops were amazing. So we organised through the amazing grassroots to deliver some suicide prevention training with a lot of our skate teams all around England, and it just went off. And it was kind of that thing where you think, are people gonna want to do it? So you're automatically in training. I think if anything, you're like, oh god, I've got to sit through some training. But this was something that everyone wanted to get involved with, and the guys were amazing. And once that kicked off, we're like, this is wicked, and they were all really chuffed to be a part of it and to make the change. And then through that, Suze was like, we can go wider, but obviously with things in Europe are different globally. So we partnered with Living Works, and they helped us deliver some suicide prevention training around America to skate teams across the globe. And it's just been amazing. People have been saying, I've been reaching out to friends, or I've noticed this about a friend since doing it. And I think through losing Ben, that's like the biggest thing, because it's all I can ask, that actually someone reaches out to, even if it's just one person, and someone reaches out and says, this made a massive difference. I feel like this is the best thing ever, and something amazing has come with something so tragic. So yeah, really proud of that.
I think for me, one thing that really stood out with the awareness training was with tour managers, so people that are actually, like, if I think of Ben when he was younger, they're the people that are with young skateboarders for a long, long time, and they're out on tours for months or so. So those people have such a responsibility is the wrong word, but for them to have the awareness of those signs and those behaviours, I think is really, really key, because it's the people in the shops as well, people here in these communities, but that role of that person who's almost like a bit of a parent figure when a young person is skateboarding as pro and out on tour. So I think that was an amazing piece as well, to be able to get those people on board and have that training as well.
And yeah, our Smile films, which Rob has done an amazing job of, alongside some other people, of creating them. And it was, I think, which Suze put so perfectly, it is that these, really high profile skaters that have wanted to get involved with it, and not because of the status or anything, because they've wanted to make a difference. So we've had Aaron, he's amazing, Nick and Chris. It really hits home, I think, the kind of the mental health side of the skating world, which I think for a long time has just been kind of put under a blanket and not really acknowledged. And the difference that they've made. Our first Smile film that we did a screening, and I'll never forget when a guy there was like, got the mic and said, this is the first time actually that I've said to my friend, like, I'm struggling. And I think for that, it sometimes just takes one person to talk out loud for a room full of people to put their hands up and be like, yeah. And it just went off, and the guys are so brave to do that, because it takes a lot. It takes such a lot to say we're struggling. I think the problem with social media nowadays is everything's painted in this perfect picture, but actually we need to see the raw end of the deal and actually real life, because you know, I mean, we can all have avo on toast, but bloody hell, who's keeping up with that 7 days a week? I certainly am not. So I think it's really good to show the good with the bad, but also that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what these really showed. And yeah, we've got more to come, and yeah, the guys doing an amazing job of, you know, and I just think the bravery that comes behind this is definitely incredible. And thank you so much for listening to me. It means the absolute world. There's loads more to come with the foundation, and yeah, it's been something that's definitely, I think suicide's a huge ripple effect. And when I lost Ben, I kind of lost myself for a long time. And thanks to this human being and Rob and Suze, having this definitely got me through. And there will, I think, always just remember how loved you are, and if you are struggling, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And never be afraid to say, I'm not okay. It's always okay to not be okay, but you're always loved. And thank you so much, everybody.
Amazing, thank you, Lucy. Francesca. So leading on from that, I'll be talking a little bit later about the training we're going to try and provide, which is the suicide prevention training in Brighton Hove across the skate shops, skate parks, skate activists, skate coaches, anyone interested. So that will follow this event. So that leads on quite well to Agnes here from Grassroots, who's kindly stood in for Olivia because she can't make it today. Feeling prepared?
I just want to hear, out of all of you, who had heard of Grassroots before coming this evening? Okay, some, but not all. Okay. So Grassroots is a local charity from Brighton Hove that started in 2006. And what we've been doing is training people across many organizations and in the communities to feel equipped to have difficult conversations. Yeah. And we have, yeah, great, thank you, cool. We have trained lots of people. I think the number is I'm going to go. The number is growing. And the idea is to help people having difficult conversation with confidence. As Lucy said, you know, some people are quite scared by the word suicide, and yet 1 in 5 people having thought of suicide in their lifetime, and 1 in 15 having attempted it. It's definitely conversations we need to have. So, can make this work from here. Great. So, what we believe at Grassroots is that we can all make a difference, and that it's, although you know, thoughts of suicide are complex and they can be very personal, it's also possible to understand them and to be able to prevent suicide from happening. And what we train people in doing is to be able to have those direct, open conversations about the topic. Yeah? So, and it's not rocket science. Everyone can do it. So, so what I want to do very quickly today, I'm going to talk about the Stay Alive app, and I would like you all to install it on your phone. Yeah, if you haven't already got the Stay Alive app on your phone, it would be a good time to install it tonight. Also, I'll show you where you can see a really good 15-minute film, which is really interactive, about how we have those conversations about suicide. And I'll tell you a little bit as well about the real talk model that we teach people to use. So, if you look at that, starting with the signs, I'd like to ask you, what would make you think someone is at risk? What might you pick up, yeah, while you're skating, while you're chatting with friends? What would be some of the signs that would make you think, I wonder if this mate is feeling overwhelmed or, you know, is really struggling? What would you say? Yep.
I think like change of behaviours and decisions and routines, so that they can become cancelling on plans, antisocial, sort of a different friend or a different person.
Okay, so change in behavior. They're different from what they've been in the past. Yeah, you notice something. Anything else?
Becoming withdrawal.
Becoming withdrawal.
Like excessive anger. Things
Yeah.
like that, you know, like
Yeah.
generally not dealing with things in a calm, collected manner, like outbursts, that kind of thing.
Outburst, rage, anger, and that's not like them.
Yeah.
Great, thank you very much. Anyone else?
Opiate drinking.
Yes. Yeah. So an increase in substance use, whether it's alcohol or the drugs. Yeah. So that can be a sign that someone is struggling, and also an increased risk, but they might now be at risk of dying by suicide. Anyone else? No? Okay, I'll give you a few more. I'll put loads on the slides there. I'll just do it all in one go. Okay. That's it. So that you can have a look. People talking about being a burden to others. They'd be better off without me. Yeah. When someone says something like that, it's definitely something that needs to be picked up. People expressing the fact there's no reason to live, or feeling trapped. Yeah. Or saying, I'm feeling bad, killing myself. Too much. Depression, losing interest. Yeah, you don't see them in the park anymore. Yeah, they're just losing interest in something that before they were living for. Withdrawing from activities, reckless actions, yeah, and all those things. Or suddenly everything's fine. Yeah, they've gone from feeling absolutely dreadful to suddenly they appear to everyone, everything's fine. Why do you think that could be?
Denial?
Yeah. Or they suddenly have a plan. Yeah, you've got it. And this is really important. So recognizing the sign is really, really important. The next step is asking. Yeah, and not hesitating to ask. And to talk directly about suicide. And the model we recommend people use is very simple. Yeah, someone, when people, whatever you will have picked up, when people say they can't cope anymore, or when people feel really depressed, overwhelmed, yeah, they are thinking of suicide. Are you thinking of suicide? So it's a very simple way of asking. And what we need to remember is that by asking that question, we not increase the risk of someone dying by suicide, we're reducing that risk. And if it's not the case, they'll tell you. Yeah? But asking is really fundamental because it gives a message that this person really cares, yeah? And might be willing to listen, which is really, really important. And then it's about listening, yeah? And not jumping in the fix-it thing. Which is sometimes something that we feel, we want to provide some quick fix solution. This is really not what's needed at that point. Yeah, we really want to provide a space for people to say how shit they're feeling, how overwhelmed they are, yeah, and why that might be, and for us to really give their space to talk and to speak, and being really patient. And not trying to, as I said, jump to solutions, yeah, which sometimes feel a difficult place to be in, yeah, that makes us feel a bit powerless, not to jump into a rescue straight away, but so fundamental in someone, for someone who's struggling, to have that space. I'm going really quick because we have very, very little time, but the next thing is, it's like you're a first aider. Now, if I'm supporting someone as a first aider, I'm not going to do open heart surgery. Yeah? I'm going to provide the first help and then signpost for more support. And it's a bit like that with suicide. Yeah? You are listening, you are asking, and you're trying to get people the help they need. And doing that initial first aid bit, which is really important. And I suppose there's two different types of help, yeah, according to is this thing working? Seems to be stopped. I'm just going to the next one. So there's two types of help. There's emergency help. So if someone already has made plans, yeah, they've got a method, they've got a time, And it's really important to ask, have you made some plans? Then it's 999. Yeah, is the emergency help that they need? If they made a plan, if they have a date, if they've taken something already, yeah, we need to call for very urgent emergency help. The other type of help, if it's not an emergency, yeah, they haven't got immediate plans, then we're going to help them find some help. Do you know any organization out there that are of support for people at risk of suicide? What comes to mind? The Samaritans, yeah. Anyone else that you know of? For young people? Papyrus, you heard of them? Mm-hmm. Specializing in helping young people, teenagers. And Calm, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So there's a range of organizations out there. I've got a list of showing you, but if we can see them, that's okay. You already know some. And then, instead of saying, here's a number, call them, when you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not going to want to do that, are you? So supporting someone to call, would you like me to call, and then pass them to you, or would you like some help, in reaching out for that organization, is much better than here's a number, call the Samaritans. Often people, when they're overwhelmed, they don't feel they deserve help, and it's important to normalize that. The fact it's normal when we are overwhelmed to feel we don't deserve any help, but reinforcing the fact that they do, and you're going to be there for them. So it's an important message to give them. Okay, so the next thing I was going to talk about is this, the Staying Alive app. Oops, no input. Okay, so easy to find. You can find them if you have an Android phone, or if you have an Apple phone, or a Google phone. It's called Stay Alive, and what's brilliant about this app is it's helpful for people who are feeling, thinking about suicide, but also for people supporting them. Yeah, and it's got loads of cool stuff in there. There is, making your own plan to stay safe for now. The things that are going to anchor you into wanting to live. The organization that can help you and so on. I really recommend you installing this on your phone and also sharing that with others. Yeah, really an important thing. And then the second thing, that's okay. The second thing I wanted to tell you about, you can do, and that's the last thing I'll say, is Grassroot made a really cool film called Real Talk, and it's an interactive film, and it demonstrates the process we've discussed. Yeah, the spotting the signs, the asking, and listening, and then helping them seek help. Okay, and that film is only 15 minutes, and it's interactive, so it stops at various stages and ask you, what would you do? Would you do this, and this, and then we'll walk you through the process so that you can see how it works. Yeah. So what else to say? Well, follow Grassroot on social media, please. And as Lucy was saying, there are lots of events you can get involved to support us locally, running a marathon, running a half marathon, posting stuff on social media, donating, and also attending some of our courses. The courses are subsidized in the city, so if you're from the city, you can attend free courses. For example, in October, I'm running one on self-harm, for example. Plus all the amazing stuff which is run by the community, the health training team and so on. So absolute pleasure meeting you tonight. And
Thank you, Agnes. As you can tell, we've got some technical problems. So we might need to take a little interlude. Take a 5-minute break, and I'll have to work on this to get it going again, if that's okay. For those of you online, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Go. Happy sporting.
Are we all back in the room? Okay, sorry for the technical interlude. Zach, are we on? Excellent, cool. Okay, try again, round two. So this is my little section, just a bit about Brighton work that I do down here. So my role is what's called a skate park development officer, which ironically doesn't mean I develop skate parks, but I actually do at the same time as my kind of alter ego. So that's about sort of providing events, activities for less represented groups, poorer sections of Brighton, events, other activities, lots of beginners lessons in schools. Some of this sort of community cohesion and other bits of training. This bit's all about trying to get the skate park world to be involved in suicide prevention and talk to each other. Skateboarding has a great community, particularly down here in Brighton and all the skate parks, particularly the Level, which is probably the biggest community. So part of my work down here is something myself and this chap over here, Ryan, helped create. Put your hand up, Ryan. Just to give you a round of applause as well. Some props to do. So it's for young people aged 11 to 16 who are sort of low in mood, low in confidence, low self-esteem, feeling a bit anxious, and then we take them through learning to skateboard or improve their skateboarding as a form of building confidence and resilience in a nurtured, safe environment with qualified coaches. And it's shown some amazing results for these young people. And they've come out with new friends, new hobby, got a lot of confidence, gone back to school. That's all feedback from parents and coaches that work with them, or child and mental health services workers. It's been going for a few years now, and that's all done at Brighton Youth Centre Urban Skate Park, which is in the centre of town. So that's been a great project. So it's all about, it's free, is the other thing to mention. Resilience building through skateboarding. I think skateboarding has a real power to do that. That falling off, failing, I've done it. And it's that, when you land a trick and everyone else around you, which I think everyone probably saw in the Olympics, is that everyone supporting everyone else. And that's a real thing in the skate park world, which got highlighted on the world stage, which is amazing. And then more recently this year, we got a bit of extra funding, and then we took it into some secondary schools. So then we visited the schools, took a mobile skate park to the schools and did it in the playgrounds rather than the community coming to us. So similar sort of projects, for which I'm wearing the t-shirt, and all the young people that attended that got their own t-shirts, got their own hoodies. We had all groups in the schools and the secondary schools, and we're sort of building on that project through exercise, physical activity, skate park world, improving mental well-being and confidence. So to make that course, it was originally funded through sort of CCG, critical commissioning group. I worked with some CAMS workers, Child and Mental Health Services, to sort of get it more ratified and put together. They attended all the first ones to make sure it's working as it should. Obviously the local skate park, and then we got some funding from Active Sussex locally to take it to the schools, and it's been amazing, and it's growing bit by bit. And there's been other small projects around the country I've seen doing similar things, but Brighton is I'm trying to kind of pioneer as much as possible. This isn't my expertise, mental well-being, but just to sort of highlight, there are lots of other services in Brighton around mental well-being and suicide prevention. So you do have Sussex Mental Health Line, Mental Health Rapid Response Service, which you can call, Grassroots, who are here today, Preventing Suicide, the Sussex website, Samaritans, you've probably heard, NHS, Every Mind Matters, Community Roots, who do lots of work in the city as well, which I'll show you a slide about in a sec. And then you've got young people, adults, e-wellbeing, drug and alcohol services, Mind, I'm guessing you've probably heard of. So there's lots of services around in Brighton Hove to tap into. And then this is the big one. I don't know if you've downloaded it yet, but I definitely recommend getting on your phone or just spreading the word about it, because it's a great app and a bit of care. And this is a bit about community routes, which are available also. That gives you an idea of sort of the breadth of projects around in Brighton that are available for mental health and suicide prevention. So I just do my little bit through skateboarding. I'm seeing Lucy, the foundation. I do bigger things nationally as our grassroots. I'm the local skateboarder enthusiast, activist, trying to make some stuff happen through the council. Which leads on to this event. So just to mention this is happening in a couple of weeks. So this is on World Mental Health Day. So we're putting a mini ramp in the centre of town just to try and highlight community skateboarding, providing free tuition, bit of a skate jam. Lots of sponsors, loads of prizes, and grassroots will be down there. You're welcome to join us if you want to come down. And that's just promoting the work of our team, Healthy Lifestyles team, grassroots, community roots, skateboarding, the community. So hopefully we'll see some of you there. Who's coming down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Hopefully all of you online if you're watching. That'd be great. And that is my little bit. That is just my little interjection to what I do in skateboarding in Brighton. No more than that. Thank you very much. Which leads me on to someone else who does lots of stuff in Brighton. Is it your turn? You can get yourself? I think so. Would you like to introduce this? Come on. Give Sarah a round of applause.
So I'm Sarah and I'm a photographer, and I found skateboarding quite late in life. So I've only been doing it 3 years, and there's a few people in the room that know me quite well and have seen how obsessed with it I became very quickly and just dived headfirst in. So I skate at the level quite a lot in the morning and have my little morning crew. And basically it's such an amazing thing in my life, and I just wanted to give something back and to highlight how important skateboarding can be for people with mental health issues, and to raise awareness and start important conversations through this community portrait fundraiser, which was shot here actually, tied in with Go Skate Day, which being June you'd imagine would be. My plan was, steadily through the day, I would hoik people out of the level and they'd come and I had a mobile setup here. For those of you who were part of it, you will know I've never seen rain like it all day, literally all day. So there's actually about 42 portraits here that I'm amazed happened, because thank you to everyone who braved the rain and came and made this work and kept me going throughout the day. You are on a slide in here, big thanks. And so yeah, it's really important to raise money for Ben Raymond's Foundation, who support all that work. So these are the portraits, and that's it. I've always jumped way ahead. So that's it. I wanted to raise £500. It's nearly made that amount. The QR code's there if anyone wants to keep adding to that, because we're nearly at 500, and then I think I'm going to be handing it over to Lucy quite soon. So there we go. That's it. You'll see the portraits that I asked everybody who came what skateboarding meant to them, because I wanted to highlight how important it is for this community that we have here. So you'll see that the responses followed by their portrait, and it was just, it's called Come As You Are, because I didn't want it to be glammed up. It was just like, this is celebrating the similarities and differences between us all as a community. Thank you.
Okay, amazing. So for the next 5 minutes, for you, those of you that are online, we're just going to show you some portraits, and then we'll be back and we'll do a bit of a Q&A so people can ask questions online. So do tap in online, or do it in the room. Donate. Yes, that's the one. Excellent. Thank you. Go back online. Lucy, Francesca, do you want to come up here, join me for a sec? Is that right?
Yeah.
One of you, both of you? Understand, take a seat, it's up to you. So it's really about, is there any questions in the room for Lucy or me or Francesca around mental well-being, the work? Anyone? No?
We're doing another Smile film. We have a documentary with Vice coming out. On Ben's birthday around the 4th of November. No, I'll say that. I'm going to say it now. So might be struck off now, but that was supposed to happen. That's happening, and we have some things coming. Just don't know how much I can say. Basically, more Smile films is definitely something I can say.
And addiction training, so more training as well, definitely. Different themes. So I think addiction is one that we really want to do. It's a big part of Ben's life, so we want to help people with that. That's it. No one heard anything about Vice.
Anyone else in the room? Ben?
I'll introduce myself first. I'm Ben Stringer. I've started a skate recovery group called Skate Straight, specifically based around supporting people in alcohol and drug addiction, because I myself am in rehab at the moment. Is there any way to get involved with you guys? Like, do you guys have any scope for, how would someone want to, if someone just wanted to off their back, get involved with you? Do you have any ways?
I think anyone that's open and wanting to get involved with us, we're always I'm especially so grateful of. I find it really overwhelming when people are, and definitely if it's something that any I think if you might feel beneficial, like one of us coming along to something that you're doing, or like collaborating, and if you have any ideas you have that, in the mental health field or something that's benefiting you, we're so open to it.
Everything starts from conversation, so
just give us a
we're
shout.
always open to listening to what other people are doing, how we can collaborate. So
And also it's something amazing that you're doing, so you should be super proud of yourself.
Thanks.
Anyone else in the room?
And Sarah, you're amazing. Thank you so much. I haven't probably ever said thank you yet. They're wicked.
Yeah, we need a bit more donations.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you all for coming. If you want information about doing the training, the suicide prevention training, those of you that know me can obviously contact me, through phone, email, or what have you. There are some leaflets in the back of the room from our team, Healthy Lifestyles team. If you want to contact us directly there about training, and then we'll put it through the networks of Brighton Hove. But we did online training for suicide prevention, and then some face-to-face training as well over the next couple of weeks. So hopefully you can attend it, and then hopefully we'll see you at that event down at the Jubilee Library. Are you running the half marathon?
I'm running the London Marathon.
The London Marathon. Okay. So it's the same day. It's the same day as the half marathon. just to warn you.
We're running it for grassroots. I feel the same. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. That's all right. Thank you for coming.